Okay, good day. Today we are going to remove the motor from the Dometic 9200 power awning. It's going to be a rather quick video, just going to go over some basic steps. I already removed it, and I will just want to go over some basic quick tips on how to get this thing out of here. Okay, the first thing you want to do is, I got a ladder here to support the roll tube. And you want to have that because when the arm goes away, you have to remove the arm, and you have to support the roll tube. And the next thing you want to do is tie off these arms using a zip tie, like I did right here. And then you want to move this out about 12 inches from the wall, either manually or through your power switch. And then, like I said, tie it off here and tie it off at that end as well, so this doesn't spring out at you. Now you want to disconnect your, inside here, there's your motor connector inside here. Just unplug that at some point as well. Now, as we go up here, I don't think this is spring loaded, but I used a strap wrench and stabilized it against the roof of the camper, just in case. Now, the way you do this is you want to remove your clam using this one-handed. It's going to fall. Okay, just press that in, and that'll expose your motor. Here's your gearbox, here's the roll tube, and here's the motor. Now, to get this motor out, you're going to have, I think, 5 screws. One here, one here, one here, one here, and one down at the very bottom right here. You'll need a T15 to get that out, Torx, and you have another screw over here, which is, I think, a 10 millimeter, and that's it. Once you remove those screws, you pull the motor out away from the roll tube, supporting by the ladder, and we'll do that right now. This is your manual release, where you can roll it up or roll it back through here. I think it's a 3/8. You just put it on and you just turn it, and that should bring it in and bring it out. What we're going to do now is we're going to remove the motor, and the best way to do that is get a T15 wrench like this. It gives you some more power, but I'm going to use this because I already took it off. These have thread lockers on here, so they're kind of difficult to get off, so you want to be careful you don't lose these guys. They are on tight too. Okay, now once you remove all these Torx T15 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this motor will pull away. I think I have to go a couple more threads here. Okay, and you can remove the screws, all 5 of them, and you separate the motor from the gearbox. Notice how it falls down and rests on the ladder I put there. Keep a hold of your gasket. You're gonna need that. Keep it nice and clean. And over here, down below, remember I talked about that 10 millimeter screw. Take that 10 millimeter screw out, And your motor should be unplugged by now. Take your 10mm screw out. Now your motor should be free. It should slide right out and out. That's your motor. I put some grease in here. Make sure you put some nice. Here's your worm gear. Here's your drive gear. This is a good gearbox because I felt a lot of resistance on here. You could feel the resistance. If this is clicking, then you got some slipping going on in the gearbox or this gear. This, I believe, is plastic, and that is never going to work in the long run, because plastic on metal, it just doesn't work. You need metal on metal or plastic on plastic, but actually plastic is no good. At any rate, this is your drive gear, this is your gearbox, and it turns the roll tube inside. So this has got, if it clicks on you, you know you're slipping and you need a new gearbox and motor. I think they sell this as one unit, motor and gearbox together. If your gearbox is good, I don't think you have to go through all the trouble of removing that as well. But to do that, you're going to have to get these rivets out and pull the whole assembly out with it, like that. I used a strap wrench here to keep this stable. If there was a spring, I don't think you need it because I don't think there is a spring in there, but I wasn't sure. At any rate, once you get that out, take your motor, test it for a 12-volt supply, going in and out, reversing the leads. We'll tell you how to do. We'll show you if the motor's good. Now, to reinstall the motor, very simple. Just reverse the order. There's little grooves here where the motor sits in. Just set it in place. Line up your screw holes. Line up your holes. Find your center and put it in, back in, like that. Reinstall your screws. Whoops, I did forget my gasket. So let's try this again. Okay, at this point you want to drop your motor in, slide it down, line up your gear, slide your motor in, nice and tight to the gearbox. Get your T15 screws, start them off. I greased everything up in here, so everything is loosey-goosey. Get at least one started. And you finish them off with your wrench. Okay, now don't forget your 10mm down here on the bottom. Okay, that's lined up. Tighten it up. Okay, snug that up real good and tight down there. Alright, And there's also a 10mm up here, so if you ever want to move your by hand, that's the way to do it. Okay. Alright, that concludes this. Remember, tighten up all your 5 torques, and this completes the job. I wish you luck.